good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution 1125, episode 1125. Happy Monday. Woo! This is going to be a busy week for me, mainly because next week is spring training. So I did try to, this weekend, I wanted to utilize my time not being at a card show this weekend to get some cleanup items, eBay, which is what we're going to talk about. Your cards aren't selling on eBay. Why? Some people are having issues not selling cards. Why are they having issues? We're going to talk about that today. So I wanted to get some cards listed. I wanted to kind of pounce on, especially since I bought so much inventory the last 2 weeks. I got to get this stuff listed. I don't want to go overboard and list thousands of cards when I'm going to be leaving for 8 days next week. So I wanted to kind of, okay, let's get some liquid cards, prospects, Adley Rushman, Jason Dominguez, who else? Jackson Holiday. Let's get some liquidity and try to cash out on some of those cards before I leave. And then when I return, then I'll really pump it up on my listings. So I'm ahead of my shipping based on my handling time. So that was nice, but had a big sales day on Sunday, a lot of volume, a lot of sales. This weekend was actually really good. And that's what we're going to talk about. Why are your sales good? Why are your sales bad? And there's usually one common denominator. Look in the mirror. That's usually the common denominator why your cards are or are not selling. We can end the show now with Philly Joe's comment. All right, that's all I had today. Philly Joe. Why are your cards not selling on eBay? Because I have sucky cards? Usually that's the case. We can end the show now. That's why. It's your product. We will go into eBay, why your cards aren't selling. The answer is usually really simple, but it can get more complex as we dive deeper. So simple. That's the simple answer. You might have sucky cards. So it was kind of a nice weekend. I was able to catch up on things, go at my own pace. It was it was kind of a weekend. I don't know what weekends are, but it felt like, I remember this back in my office days. There were days of the week where you could do whatever you wanted. So that's where I was at this weekend. Very nice day yesterday, like 70 degrees. Very windy. My trellis, my garden out there fell, and I'm like, screw it. I had to get some, what's the heavy duty? It's not duct tape. It's like heavier duty than duct tape. It's like Gorilla tape. So I have some Gorilla tape, which is like phenomenal. So my grill, which it drives me nuts because my office, like on the other side of the camera, just on the other side is the outside. And right above is the deck. And right on the deck is the grill and the patio furniture. And when it's very windy, it's very noisy. And my grill doors were swinging open. I've had an issue with, so I'd put Gorilla tape on the inside, but it didn't work. I didn't want to put the Gorilla tape on the outside. It's a freaking grill anyway. I got to the point where it's like, okay, the tape's going on the outside. And that seemed to work against the freaking massive winds we had yesterday. So we're in our 5th false spring. I think we're due for some more winter. And I have, we are in for a nasty snowstorm. Here's why. No, my knee's not acting up. Here's why. Looking at the extended forecast, there's a 10-day forecast. We're like going to be below freezing like 3 days in the next 10 days. So that's pretty cool. Highs in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. We hit them all. But here's why. We're going to have a giant snowstorm. We're going to have a blizzard at some point this month. Why? Because my neighbors took down their sidewalk sticks for snow. You know, you have those long things you stick in your driveway or on the sidewalk so you don't run your snowblower into your grass or into your grass. Well, they took theirs out. Took Biscuit out last night, and I'm like, oh, because it's a good like training tool for Biscuit. Like, oh, when you get to the sidewalk sticks, that's the neighbor's yard, because I don't put sidewalk sticks in my yard. I wing it. I get the snowblower out and I wing it. Oop, there's a rock. Oh, there's the grass. So that's why we're gonna get a big blizzard. My neighbors, they jinxed it. Don't ever put your don't put your snow. If you live in Wisconsin, do not put your snowblower away until July. Otherwise, you're gonna jinx it. We're gonna get a June snowstorm. So I always keep my shovel. Well, I don't have a shovel outside here because Biscuit usually goes out front, so it's just in the garage. But at the old house, I would have a shovel in the backyard on the patio where I would shovel a spot for Biscuit to go potty. And it seemed like, early on I'd put the shovel away and, got to get the shovel back out. We've got a snowstorm. So now it's like, I think May, June, you're safe. May, you should be safe in May. At least here we're kind of safe in May. So yeah, we're going to get a giant snowstorm thanks to my neighbors. We can blame it on my neighbors when we get the out of season blizzard this year. We saw lots of doggies. Biscuit was her typical grouchy self, was not very friendly with most of them. We saw Rosie and the Chihuahuas. We saw, who else did we see? We saw some doodles, which we've never met before. Daisy the doodle and Daisy's brother or sister. We saw a French bulldog that we've never seen, but the French bulldog Biscuit was more interested in the French bulldog than the French bulldog was interested in Biscuit, which I think is why. Biscuit doesn't like energetic dogs. She likes very submissive dogs. And I say, and like isn't probably the word. She tolerates the submissive dog. Biscuit loves cats. And I think why is because cats don't want to be around Biscuit. So Biscuit's like, oh, you don't want to be around me? Oh, come here. But if a dog's like, oh, Biscuit's like, get away from me. I'm grouchy. So that's how she is. So it was a nice walk. Windy, warm, fun walk. That's about all I did yesterday. I did watch some college basketball. We are getting into tournament season. Conference tournaments begin this week. Here I'm talking about the Summit League beginning like one of the early. My Leathernecks their first game is Thursday in the OVC tournament. I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, the OVC is first. And I'm concerned. Where's Dave Arnold? I'm concerned with the Leathernecks' potential first opponent. So Western gets the Western Illinois, my alma mater. They get the number 4 seed, which is a bye. So they will play Tennessee State or somebody else. And Tennessee State's the 5 seed. And Tennessee State, they've had Western's number this year. I'm more confident in playing the number 1 seed, Little Rock. What's the song? Lost my heart in Little Rock. I'm more confident playing Little Rock, which is who Western would play in the next round, in the semifinals, I think that would be, than I am against Tennessee State, the number 5 seed. So we'll see. Thursday is when Western will play. So I think Tennessee State plays their game on Wednesday. So holy moly, we've got conference tournament basketball this week. What else there was a movie I watched the other night that I wanted to talk about, or yesterday. It escapes me. So, Bitcoin is pumping, Low Roller Scratcher was right. I'm looking at my Coinbase and, so I have like play money in crypto, like very nominal amount, like a few $100. So I think I've invested in Coinbase a total of $400. But if I sold right now, it would be $638. So, and most of that's gone up in the last month. So my portfolio's gone up. My current holding $638, $639, and it's gone up $243 in the last month. And all time, it's gone up $271. So my holdings, for those that there might be a couple people in here that besides Low Roller Scratch or they're into crypto. I'm not. I just I'll every once in a while I commit like 2 minutes a month to it. No, not even that. 2 minutes every 6 months. I commit more time now. It's like, ooh, what's it at? I have Tezos, Shiba Inu, Solana, SEI, Cardano, and I have a few Doge coins in my Robinhood account. So there you go. Low Roller is checking out my eBay store. So let's see what's next on the checklist for Low Roller Scratcher. He gave us a crypto update. He told me what I've sold in my eBay store. I think he's going to tell me to list hockey and soccer or probably wrestling cards because it's WrestleMania season. So I think that covers it for Low Roller. I guess we can talk about eBay. Since we're talking about eBay, visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more, get 25% off at checkout. I did add yesterday, let's see, that's this weekend. I added a whole bunch of Adley Rushman, a whole bunch of Jason Dominguez, some Shohei Ohtani, added some Bowman Chrome autos and some refractors, some other color, some other autos. Yesterday, I added, Jordan Lawler. Who else did I add yesterday? Belchy, Jackson Holiday. So check it out. Buy 7 or more, get 25% off at checkout. 99 Cent Cards link also in the description to this video. What's up, George? George in the house. Victor is here. What's up? Good morning. David in the house. Good morning to you. Unicorn Cupcake is here. Philly Joe in the house. Good morning. We'll go back to his comment. We can end the show now because Philly Joe is exactly correct. Why are your cards not selling on eBay? It's because you have sucky cards. Your inventory is not good. And sometimes I'm going to go into that because it's not all. Sometimes you may have good stuff in your store, but it's kind of buried. And that happens. Sometimes I have slower sales days. You got to freshen it up. You got to freshen that inventory up. Good morning, Shane. What's up? John Larson's in the house. Good morning. Steel Cards is here. Good morning. Kyle, what's happening? Mark Marinello, good morning. Had a successful show weekend. Major dent in 1970 and 72 baseball sets and picked up some cool vintage jerseys. Nice. Yeah, I'm curious how other people's show weekends went. I know we had a few people going to shows yesterday. So tell me about it. I know James was in Oak Creek on Saturday. We're in the season of shows. And I did learn yesterday that I'm overlapping. Not only am I overlapping this month with the Rockford card show, which I did know about, and that was kind of, I knew that was coming. So March 30th, Madison card show, Rockford show is also on that Saturday, March 30th. But April, I'll be overlapping with the Green Bay card show, and that's their bigger one, where it's about similar size as the Madison card show, which is unfortunate because Matt, who runs the show, he's set up. He's been a regular at my show since like the second month I've ran the show. He hasn't missed a month. It's either him or his dad or our dealers at my show. They're right there when you walk in. Oh, I'm getting choked up here. So he had messaged me, and he had a smaller show yesterday in Green Bay, and said that he's like, "Hey, I heard that your April show is going to be on the 20th," and I said yes. So unfortunately, it has to be. It's either April 20th or no show in Madison in April, because April 27th is taken. April 13th, I'm already committed to Janesville. So, and basically when I put my dates out, I aim for the final Saturday of the month. But if that's not available, I'm also up against the and sometimes we're up against different, like in July, I'm not running it on the final Saturday because it's the National. So obviously I go to the third Saturday. So that's my backup, third Saturday. And only in the only time I'll run a second Saturday is if like I absolutely can't, if the venue's taken or I'm at a wedding, like that's what happened. And there's going to be some point when I may not be able to run a show based on the vet. Like I'm, they only give me 3 months. They only let me book 3 months out, and they have weddings in the summer. So July is probably at some point, and maybe it's this year. Who knows? I won't know for another month or two when I can book July. But obviously, I'm not going to run it the weekend of the National. So my aim is the week before the National. But if that's taken, it's like, well, maybe I run the second. But last year that couldn't happen because I had a wedding. My best friend's wedding was like the second Saturday in July, and the fourth Saturday is the National. So it's like if I can't get that third Saturday in July at the Sheraton, there's no show. So that could happen. Ideally, I want to have a show, and running up against another show, it's going to happen. It has happened in the past. It's going to happen in the future. It just is what it is. It's unfortunate. I don't like that happening, but it's either, and some dealers get upset. They're like, well, I want to do both shows. It's like, well, here's the thing. You can't. Because if I can't change the date, like there just won't be a show. So if you don't do my show and you do, whatever show it is, you're still going to miss my show because there isn't a show. So them's the breaks. Sometimes them's the breaks. It's unfortunate. It sucks, but it's reality. James says, list relevant players that will not sit on eBay. eBay is on fire. Yeah, eBay is, my sales were down last week, and I knew exactly why. We're going to talk more about this today. Why were my sales down last week, despite eBay being on fire? Because I wasn't listing. I had I have 53,000 listings, but I wasn't freshening up my inventory. And sometimes it's as simple as adding some. This weekend, I only added a few hundred cards this weekend, but I added names. Now, did I sell a lot of Jordan Law? I don't think I sold a single Jordan Lawler card. I think I sold one of 60 Jason Dominguez cards that I sold, maybe more. But some of those names didn't sell. But guess what? It probably triggered that algorithm in the background, because all of a sudden I'm getting sales on, I'm not getting sales on Adley Rushman, Jackson Holiday, Jason Dominguez, but it's driving traffic to my store. And I just sold a 1990 Topps Major League debut Randy Nosek. I sold a Marcus Allen 1994 Topps football card, a 1983 Topps Neil Lomax card, 2015 Topps first pitch Austin Malone. These are all my recent sales. A 2005 Topps Heritage Mark Hendrickson. I did sell a couple Spencer Jones. I sold a Roman Anthony first chrome. So sometimes just by adding hot names, you may not sell those hot names, but it may lead to other sales. Your 91 Fleer Barry Larkin will sit for months. I probably have a 91 Fleer Barry Larkin in my eBay store. And sometimes 91 Fleer Barry Larkins will sell too. YouTuber Sammy Thunder, but just don't sit down and list 1,091 Fleer cards, because they're going to sit for months. YouTuber Sammy Thunder does my local show. Nice guy, very pleasant to talk to. Sammy Thunder, that's a fun name. What type of YouTuber is he? Well, I guess I would assume he's a card guy. Sammy Thunder. I'm not familiar with the name. The Card Hunter, what's going on? Are we done talking about PSA buying SGC? I hope so. I hope so. I touched on it one morning and be done. That's all we talked about it here. I really don't care. And that's all everyone talks about. Thank you for real life hobby news. You betcha. Yeah, I'm sick of it. I knew Hobby Hotline was going to talk about it on Saturday, and it took up like most of the show. And it's like, it's just regurgitate. It's the same stuff regurgitated by different people. And it's like, at this point, like 5 days later, I don't want your opinion anymore. I do like to hear about it when it first comes out, like, oh, okay. But I don't need to hear 75 different YouTubers and hobby people share their opinions of PSA SGC. I'm with you, Card Hunter. Harlan, what's going on? Good morning. Jamie, what's up? Shane, we do not want to hear you saying we are going to get a lot of snow at 7 a.m. on a Monday. I know, right? I'm sorry. Hey, blame my neighbors. I don't even know my neighbors' names. I know the neighbors over there, but I don't know the neighbors over there. I've talked to them many times. I think I probably got their names when we were building or renovating, but I don't remember. Now, I don't even know if I know their dog's name. Their dog's a little bitch. Their dog's a little bitch. But I know other dogs in the neighborhood's names. And I'll learn the dog's name before I learn their names. There you go. There's your crypto update for the morning. $65,000 Bitcoin. Dogecoin is pumping. Yeah, I went to my Robinhood account and I have like 20 Dogecoin. I had like $1 in my Robinhood account, like after buying some stocks, and it's like, I've got $1. I'm going to toss this in and get a few Dogecoins. And I looked and it's like, oh, wow. Dogecoin moved. Brian's in the house. Good morning. AA Cards is here. What's happening? Brian says, I'm starting to think that I don't need to use 7% ad rate for cards over $100. Doesn't seem like many people promote expensive cards. Any thoughts? That's a good thought. I don't typically list too many over $100 cards. I did decrease my ad rate, and it's been about a month. I should dive deeper into my ad rate, but I'm now at 8% for my ad rate, where I was at 12% prior. And I haven't seen. Let's take a look month over month. Let's look at traffic impressions. Let's see. Okay, for the month. So my impressions are down 5%, but my page views are up nearly 7%, and my quantity sold is up 27%. So impressions, while it's a good barometer of where your store is at, is not really impressions lead to views, lead to sales. Essentially, that bottom line is all you need to know, but all the other numbers are important when looking at them. So quantity sold is up 27%. I'd say, hey, my dropping to 8% was a smart move, especially at this time of year when, like James said earlier, eBay's on fire, especially if you're listing baseball right now. Baseball is moving. I look at my last like 5-10 sold, and there's a lot of football in there, which is kind of weird. So yeah, my thoughts. If you don't do store wide, which I do, so it's just like and I'm probably pissing money away. But I'd say, yeah, try it out. Don't promote the over $100 cards and see what they're. And the thing is, like, if you have an if the Ichiro red auto that I pulled, I didn't need to promote that. Like, people will find that. That's a card, and that's kind of how you have to think of it. Typically, what I'm moving is base low end cards, and they're a dime a dozen, so there's a lot of competition. So the ad rate comes into play. If it's a hot card, whatever it is, and there's not as much competition, the ad rate's not as important. Neil, good morning. My Celtics blew out Golden State. Celtics blew out Golden State by 52, the third largest win in franchise history. Wow. That's surprising that the Celtics. That's the Celtics' third largest win in franchise history. You'd think going back to like the glory days that they would have had some more of those big wins. Congrats to the Celtics. Low roller, checking out my eBay store. I only sold one card. Is that true? Today? Let's take a look. Oh yeah, I've only sold one card today. Hit up my eBay store. I'm what's going on? Hit up my eBay store. But Sunday was a good day. Saturday was a good day. I think there's a correlation because I was home and I was inside eBay like all day Saturday, all day Sunday, adding cards, sending offers, responding to offers, shipping. Like I was in eBay all day Saturday and Sunday. And I think there's a correlation when you're doing all of that activity. Gets that. I hate talking about the algorithm, but it's, sometimes it's fact. And I think there's a correlation there. Whereas if I'm at a card show all day and I'm just kind of looking at eBay and I'm not really doing much, I'm not really selling much either. So I think there might be a correlation. The more time you spend doing things within eBay, it doesn't have to necessarily be listing. It can be answering messages, sending offers, shipping and listing, kind of the run the gamut of activity within eBay. Kyle's into crypto. I come here to not think about that though. Don't we all? Except for Low Roller Scratcher. Johnny M, what's up? Good morning. Max is in the house. How many coins, shares have you bought with your dividends from Bitcoin? Now, back in the day, you used to get what did they call it in crypto? Because there are some coins that offer dividends, but they're not called dividends in crypto. And I don't think in the state of Wisconsin that you don't get these anymore. I think Tezos was one. Nope, I guess Tezos wasn't one. Was it Solana? Wasn't Solana. Cardano? I thought I had multiple. Earning balance. Okay, so you earned staking. So you earned stake, which is basically dividends. So you would earn like 2%. So I earned 3 coins, 3 Cardano coins over the lifetime, which isn't much, but neither are dividends. So some crypto does offer what would be dividends in the crypto world. Staking, you get 1% of what you own. Orlando, what's going on? Good morning. Let's see. Low Roller wants to know what Kyle's investing in. Shane says, found 4 image variation cards in my box of base of 2022 Topps Heritage Baseball this morning. Isn't that fun going through boxes and being like, this looks like it could be a short print image variation. And it is. JW, what's up? Good morning. Johnny M says, guess it depends on what you call sucky cards. I consider commons sucky cards, but they do sell. That's true. That's true. It's not a one size fits all. The more commons you have in your eBay store, the less you're going to sell. But they will sell. My 91 Fleer Barry Larkin will sell at some point. A Barry Larkin collector or a Reds collector will come in, buy a 91 Fleer Barry Larkin. I sell commons all the time. Every day I'm selling commons. Now, is it a good strategy to just list commons for $1.50 or 99 cents or $1.75 on eBay? No, absolutely not. But if you're using a feed scanner in Card Dealer Pro, I can list 182 tops in like 3 minutes, start to finish. Actually, maybe 4 minutes, because it's going to take the longest part of that listing process is scanning the cards in, even with a feed scanner. So that's like, oh, I've just got, and those are types, like I wouldn't do that with 91 Donruss, but I would do it with 81 Donruss. Like, oh, I've just got the stack of 81 Donruss. I can move these. I can get these listed really fast. And when you sell 3 or 4, you pay yourself back pretty quickly. when they do sell. Charles Gotcha, what's up? Good morning. Kyle says, I'm here for the card and eBay talk, LRS. In regards to crypto, make sure you do a lot of research and develop a thesis for why it might be useful. Most will lose money in crypto. I don't know if Low Roller Scratcher is going to follow that advice. Maybe. Brian says, just lowered ad rate to 4.2% for cards under $100. No ad for over. Probably shouldn't be trying this at the same time I'm listing new cards every half hour. Effing hard with the algorithm, right? Corey Garcia, good morning. Hit the like button. Thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you. Thank you. JW says Bodie has been on fire so far this spring. And I think Bodie being on fire is best case scenario for both David Bodie and the Chicago Cubs. I think he's the first to get traded for a bag of balls. And, you know, if they signed him to, while the Braves are signing Ronald Acuna and Ozzie Albies to these like awesome contracts, the Cubs signed David Bodie to one of those contracts. Now it was like $5 million, but that was just one of those bizarre, like, I'd have to go back and I'm sure there was a reason why they did that. He might have been coming up on but he was on the 40 man. So there had to have been some business reason why they signed David Bodie to that deal, because he was already in the big leagues, I think. But he was coming up on, because he's been in the he's the longest tenured Cub in the organization. Like, he's been in the Cubs organization since I think 2012. Which is I think he's been in the Cubs organization 1 year longer than Kyle Hendricks. But yeah, I think David Bodie's not going to get a spot on the 26-man roster. So best case scenario, he lights it up and the Cubs can trade him for something. A warm body. Good morning, Brian. Found a steal on a graded card for my son's birthday. Price $20. Win-win. Nice. Love those finds. Max says I go from having 4 shows in April to 2. All 4 of you guys overlapped. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I'm sure. I don't know. I can't remember. Like, Matt and I usually keep in contact on show dates. And April was just one of those where it's like I have no other choice. It's either no show in April or April 20th. So I am not going to start running it Sundays. It's a Saturday show. Other promoters can run their show on Sunday. JG says, great show per usual. First Saturday of every month here in sunny Florida. Tons of grumpy vintage dealers wondering why nobody wants their overpriced raw cards and packed tables with dealers wheeling and dealing. It's a very good point that JG brings up. Kind of goes along hand in hand with eBay. And, it's why are your cards not selling? You may have those tables may have some awesome vintage cards, but when it's a grumpy old man, you've all seen the guy at the card show that's this. And it's like, ooh, he's scary. I'm not going to go to his table. And you get the perception when you have that look as a dealer, like you don't want to be there. You give off the perception that you don't want to sell your cards either. Like, you don't want to be there. You're just there to get away from your wife. Like, I don't know why you would go to the card show. Like, because you give off the look of you don't want to be there. So I know it's resting bitch face for many. Work on it. And then they complain. I didn't sell anything today. Well, you didn't talk to anybody either. Nobody wants to come up to a table where you look like you're pissed off and you don't want to be there. Like, oh, no, don't mess with this guy. So you may have awesome cards, but if they're overpriced, like just having, and that's, there's 2 things why your cards aren't selling on eBay. What are you selling and what are you pricing it at? You may have awesome cards. You may have the best of the best. Jackson Holiday, Jason Dominguez, Ellie De La Cruz. You may have all those. But if you've got a second-year Bowman paper and it's $10, guess what? You're probably not going to sell it. If and also, as a aside, you may have a second-year Bowman paper Ellie De La Cruz. It may be priced at $2.50, which is a very fair price, market price. But you also have to practice patience. Just because you list it doesn't mean it's going to sell. I think many, if not most, card sellers are very impatient. Like, I listed this, I want to sell it. That's why I've seen in this group, in Hobby Evolution Facebook group, in Twitter, at my local card shows, the impatience. And it's not 2021 anymore, where you could list commons. You could list a bunch of 91 Fleer a few years ago on eBay, and you'd sell a lot of them. And we're not there anymore, and we probably won't see that again. Maybe in another 30 years, we'll see it. You have to practice patience. And I've seen so many, and it's not just the sneaker crowd. A lot of people put blame on the sneaker crowd. But I saw people at my local shows, they were into sneakers. Now, I can make money on cards. Now it becomes harder to make money on cards. And the patience is gone. Like, I don't have patience anymore. But if you work at it, and if you truly, just like anything in life, your job, if you put the time in, it will pay off. But if you just clock in and walk through the motions, especially if you're in a sales business, you're not going to see the success that others see. You've got to put in the time. I didn't just start selling cards on eBay 6 months ago, and all of a sudden I hit 1,000 listings and all the sales poured in. Like, it's a process. It's a long process. I've been selling cards on eBay since 1999. I had an eBay store 20 years ago. I have the experience, and I think I've also built up. Now, I took a lot of time off in between those times. My most recent store, my current store, I've had since 2015. When I got back into it, eBay, I hadn't used my account for a couple of years. eBay just closed it or whatever. So I got a new eBay account, 2015. And I've built that up, closing in on 4,000 followers. That's big. That's huge. Repeat customers on eBay is huge. Build your brand. Even with 4,000 followers on eBay, I'm still uncomfortable running auctions. People with 100 or 1,000 followers want to run auctions and make money, like DC Sports and the big consignment companies. They have thousands of followers. They know consistency is also key. You can run auctions, but just know you might be disappointed with some of the results. But if you keep doing it, if you're consistent, it'll pay off in the end. That goes back to the patience part. A lot of us don't have the patience for that. I don't have the patience to run auctions. I'd rather just do fixed price and tweak my store from that standpoint. Where are we at? Good morning, Andy Mack. 420, good day. Smoke them if you got them. My youngest is 1 on 420. Very cool. Johnny M says, personally, I think we make selling on eBay more complicated than it has to be. I see that. I think in many cases you are correct. I think a lot of blame, when your sales are down, a lot of the blame goes to, we need to find a scapegoat. It's the algorithm. Something's wrong with eBay. I haven't made my average number of sales, and I've added listings and I've done this and that. Sometimes there just isn't an answer. Just keep grinding. It's in sales. Anybody in a sales business, you're going to have shit days. You're going to have shit weeks, and you're going to have shit months. And yes, a lot of it has to do with the economy and other things, depending on what industry you're in. But if you're in a sales business, you will have shitty days. It's not just eBay. It's not just baseball cards. It's sales. And you have to deal with the ebbs and flows of sales. And sometimes we do overcomplicate it. And sometimes by overcomplicating, it kind of goes back to the patience part. If you're impatient, this isn't working. I got to try something different. I got to try something. This isn't working either. We don't give it enough time to just marinate. Let it marinate. Let your business marinate as long as you're doing the right things and you know you have a vision of what you want to do and see through it. You can't just have ADHD and go from this to this to this. Well, I want to sell low dollar singles. Well, they're not selling. I want to go sell lots. My lots aren't selling. I want to sell sports memorabilia. This isn't selling. Autographs, not selling. You can't just jump from, because then there's no consistency. People will find you. Offer good products at good prices. Eventually, people will find you. Practice patience and stop overcomplicating things. Johnny likes to keep everything in my life simple. There are no big secrets to selling on eBay. List, sell, ship. Amen. There's not, and I think this is one thing that sometimes I just want to, the person ask, I just want to shake them. Stop thinking that way. Everybody wants a simple answer, and there's no simple answers. There's no secrets. There are no simple answers to sales, especially when it comes to eBay and, relying on a third-party platform. When did you start seeing, I hear this a lot, and I'm not sure why this comes up, but I hear this question a lot. At what point, at how many listings did you start really seeing traction? And it's like, well, 300. I mean, it just depends. And it's like, what do you mean by like growth, or, whatever the question, however it's phrased? I started really when I hit 300, 200 listings, started seeing a lot more than when I had 50. What are you basing it on? If you have 100 listings right now and you start adding, at 1,000 listings, you're going to see significant growth over 100. When you hit 5,000, same, 10,000, same, 20,000. Now, you're not going to go this. I also want to make this clear for, maybe newer sellers. If you have 100 listings now, you get a scanner, you get Cardi the Pro, and you don't expect to 10x your sales by going from 100 to 1,000. Do not expect that. You may 2x it, maybe 3x, depending on what you're listing, but you're certainly not going to 10x it. JW says, from everything I learned so far from you as far as nothing selling goes, comes down to what you're listing and what your prices are. Those are the two things I always look at. Absolutely. 100%. That's simple. That's the simplicity. It really is simple. What are you listing and what are you pricing at? Those are the only two things that truly affect your sales. Now, it can get more complex, but let's not overcomplicate it like Johnny says. Simplification, list good stuff at good prices, and you should see good results. Once we start overcomplicating, and sometimes we realize, just because a card sold 2 years ago, a certain 91 Fleer, say 91 Fleer was moving well for you 2 years ago, doesn't mean it's going to move well for you now. In fact, it's not. Keep your inventory fresh. And what I mean by keeping your inventory fresh, it doesn't mean listing. Just listing cards for listing's sake may not lead to sales. We're rolling into a new season. What's moving right now? Minor league prospects are in baseball moving really well right now. What are your customers buying, especially your repeat customers? When you have a sale and all of a sudden you start seeing trends, like my Florida State guy, all of a sudden I see this guy buying a whole bunch of cards and it's like Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. And it's like, and then there's a baseball card. I'm like, oh, I think he pitched at Florida State. And then It's like, oh yeah, he's buying Florida State cards. And then I see a trend, like a week later, he buys some more Florida State cards. So what do? When I'm just going through stuff, like, oh, Florida State. I created a category for him. Hey, I see you buy a lot of Florida State cards. I created a category. Came in and bought like 50 cards. So take a look at what your buyers are buying and tailor your listings to that, because you already have a committed customer to that, whether it's Florida State or another college. Maybe it's a team. I've noticed I have multiple buyers that buy Orioles, modern Orioles cards, and sometimes vintage Orioles cards. So when I'm digging through a bargain box, cherry picking dollar cards or $5 autos, I'm looking for Orioles because I have a decent customer base that's buying Orioles. And it doesn't have to be Jackson Holiday or Adley Rushman. It can be Kobe Mayo, and I listed I had three. Douglas Hodo. I don't know if they sold, but if you start picking those trends up, that can really lead to sales success. Brian says, Card Hunter, that's awesome. Congrats. Fun tidbit. Your 35th birthday is your 420 month alive. Had a big party for that one. At least I think we had a party. Max Cast, what's going on? Good morning. That's a pretty cool MJ thumbnail. I like it. Orlando says, Sammy is a vintage dealer collector. Good friend of mine. Excellent. Sammy Thunder. I'll have to check that out. Let's see. Where are we at? Andy Mack says, many eBay sellers discount the value of repeat buyers. There you go. I think Andy Mack actually put that in the chat before I even touched on it. Brand your store and offer good service, and you'll get people that come back and buy from you. Amen. David says, Sammy Thunder has an active YouTube channel. Let's see. Where are we at? Set Cards says, I recently just changed my promotions to cap cards over $20 to 5% and $100 to 3%. I like that. I like that method. Because typically your more expensive cards are going to be the cards that there's going to be less competition and maybe less out there. So there's no need to boost your ad rate. Flawed Thinker says, someone charted all of the pitches that have been thrown to James Wood, and they compared it to the change that pitchers made when going against Barry Bonds. Interesting. James Wood is a guy. I thought I was pulling James Wood to list. I did raise the price. Also, here's another thing. I did this with Kobe Mayo. I had some 2022 Bowman draft, and by some, I mean like 200, Kobe Mayo, and I had him along with many others priced at 99 cents with free shipping. And I sold like 5 here, but I'd get a lot of single sales, 99 cents. And I'm like, Jesus, everybody's buying Kobe Mayo. So I raised it to $1.75, and people are still buying Kobe Mayo. I did the same with James Wood. He was like my biggest seller last week. 99 cents free shipping, 2022 Bowman draft paper. So I think I only raised it to $1.50, and we'll see if that continues. Johnny M says, I bought 5 million Shiba Inu coins as a goof years ago for under $150, and even that is making money. LOL. Yes. Me and my coworkers, we were buying into it during it probably the same time you did. And we all put like $100 in to Shiba Inu. Where are we at? Let's see. Brian says, damn, one time we could beat Bo in sales and I have none. James says, low roller is stalking you. Hey, there you go. He was helping me out with staking. Thank you. Shane says, commons are sucky, but they are great and sell well. I do sell a lot of commons. They are sucky, but it's a lot of fun when you get either a TTMer or a set builder, and all of a sudden there's 40, 82 tops that sell in one transaction. That's what I live for. Isn't that pathetic? That's what I live for. Selling 40 1982 tops cards. That's what I live for. Live for and is selling on eBay. Low end volume sales. GNC baseball cards. Good morning. Stukes in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Zach and Porter are here. Andy Mack just got back from the NFL Combine. My son got to meet Jim Harbaugh. Very nice guy with fans. I actually watched some of the NFL Combine yesterday. I missed the good stuff. I missed the wide receivers. I missed the quarterbacks. So I got to watch the offensive linemen yesterday afternoon. But now that the Combine is over, there's fresh mock drafts that we can all that we can. I love mock drafts. Can't get enough. Zach says David Bodie is the Cubs version of Lurie Garcia. Enjoy. George says since 2012, how the F old is that guy? 57 since 2012. I don't know what that. I'm too far behind. Andy Mack, 100% that the Grumpy Dealer cards are not priced. I bought some 1970s Kellogg's and Hostess Lube Rocks today. Cardboard gold. Andy Mack says, and he's whipping out a dog-eared Beckett to price them, right? Let's see. Shane says, or a box of $2 cards with an $8 price tag and a 75% off sales sign. Love it. Flawed Thinker says, I know it's just spring training, but I love the fact that Juan Soto has a 2.616 OPS. This is the best he's ever done in spring training. Wondering what might come out of this. Probably nothing. I take spring training stats with a grain of Evs. I'm sure you do as well. But I'm very excited to see Juan Soto at Yankee Stadium. Mainly because he's one of my keepers in my fantasy baseball league, which we'll have to do tune out. We're talking eBay. eBay gets the most viewers on my show. Fantasy baseball, I start talking fantasy baseball and we'll start seeing that number drop. But I've got to have my keeper set in the next couple weeks. And I still don't know. I've still got a big decision to make on a couple guys. Stuke says 2024 prediction: Twins, Royce Lewis, 30 home runs, 100 RBI, and a 290 batting average. Low Roller says you need to be patient in crypto. There you go. Can't just sit and run your bot anymore. These glorified retail wax dealers always make me chuckle, but the couple in Madison must make some semblance of money. Yeah, in one of my retail dealers in Madison, he's been doing it since before. Because I remember he was set up at the old Madison show when it was at the Clarion. And I set up there in February, right before the pandemic. And I'm sure I think he's been doing shows long before the Target waiting lines for retail. Johnny N says, just wondering how I ever made money on eBay the past 25 years without all the YouTube sellers telling me how to do it. Max says, crypto reignited the fire in many that love the get-rich-quick schemes. There is no true way to build wealth quickly. None. I agree. It's America now. Blame someone else for your problems. Yeah, there's a scapegoat for everybody, for everything. Brian says, take more shots, score more points. Pistol Pete. Good eBay sales therapy session this morning. Need more of these talks. Hey, thank you for watching. Flawed Thinker says, I deleted most of my store over the weekend. Time to try a different strategy. Shane says, we hit 100 viewers. Yeah, I think we hit 105, which I don't know what the record is anymore. I don't have my chart anymore. I would write down the new record. Orlando says, hit the like button. Thank you. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Shop my eBay store. If you list the rare Burleys then you'll finally sell something. There you go. List rare Mark Burley cards that Dan needs. Orlando says, Stukes buys Twins cards. Shane says, talking about Burley makes me want to watch The Catch after this. Mr. Archer, good morning. One thing a lot of you scanner boys ignore is your already listed inventory. You put the work into it, don't ignore it. That is a pretty good point. I love the scanner boy nickname. I might use that. I'm a scanner boy. Because I'm listing so much and I just I think I probably should utilize some of my auction, especially when I ignore, I completely, once I list things, and this isn't just since I started using the scanner, this is just how I've always used eBay. I've never gone back and I shouldn't say never. I very rarely go back and reprice things, edit listings, anything like that. I set it and forget it. I'm like, what the hell's his name? Starts with a P. Set it and forget it. That guy. I need to go back, especially like 2024. Like I think I've sold 2 relics from 2024 tops out of the 12. And I think there's an autograph, and it's at release day prices, and it's not going to sell at that price anymore. So I think I need to take some time just to go through some stale listings, either put them in auction and let them die, or some of the stuff that's overpriced, reprice it. Good morning, TD Sports Cards. Brian, what's up? Oh man, Belch. I'm gassy this morning. What did I eat? We say it's salmon Sunday. So broccoli. I bet it's the broccoli. Broccoli makes me gassy. Brian says, hit the like button. Thank you, sir. Jordan Brown, what's up? I use the same strategy on Whatnot, buying cards of teams that a few guys collect that always hop in our show, and they sell. Love it. Clifford, what's up? Why doesn't eBay let buyers make one offer on multiple items? I feel like that would be like bulk buy as it shows. I wish that was the case. That would be nice. It's also annoying. I don't know how you guys are handling offers. My eBay app sucks. And they just made a change, but it's still like I can't access my offers. Just says I have no. I'll go into my. I just sold 2 cards, low roller scratcher. Somebody bought a Grayson Rodriguez. Thank you. It'll say I have X amount of, actually, it doesn't even say, it says I'm all caught up on tasks. So I can't even see, my eBay app doesn't even have offers anymore. So it's useless. Like I don't even use the only time I use the app is to shop. Like from a selling standpoint, the app is useless. Unless you're listing from your phone, which I do every once in a while. But it's a real pain in the ass. Like, how do you send bulk? Is there a way to do bulk offers? Like when I go into my offers, it says I have 18. I think I have 18 offers. And when I go into it, come on. When I go into it, finally, like you would think if you click actions, you can edit, you can sell similar actions. There's no, I can send offers, but I can't answer the offers. Is there a way to bulk accept or decline offers? Like I can't see like what the offer is. It's annoying as hell. And it takes a long time. Like to go in to each one, accept or counter decline, go back, do it again. It was so much easier on the app, but now I can't even do it on the app. So if somebody knows how to do offers any easier, because now I let most of them like, oh, it's a $1.50 card. I'm not going to even look at it unless I know it's somebody that sent multiple offers. Like I had a guy who sent me like 40 offers, $1. They were like $1.50, $1.75, $2 cards. And he sent me $1 offer and I accepted all of them. And it took me forever to do it. Now, like he did them in 2 batches. The second batch, I was on my phone, so I was able to do it because it came up on my notifications. But the first batch, I had to go into the website, the app or the website, and it took forever. Let's see. Max says because they have paid the same 50-year-old coder for years and have no imagination. Would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Yes. I believe during the eBay Open, they were talking about being in the works of being able to do that. I don't know how long that will take, but hopefully within the year. I think the spring seller conference is this week, Thursday, I think. Clifford Dugan, what's up? He says, feel like more collectors would buy more at a time with that option. That would certainly help. Dan's in the house. Good morning. Hope you have an awesome week. Thank you, Dan. Mark Hoyle's in the house. Good morning. Porter is here. Good morning. My sales have been great lately. Just surpassed 5,000 listings, all of which are now free shipping. My store has only been open since November 2023. Very nice. Ron Popeil, thank you. I knew it started with a P. Ron Popeil. Set it and forget it. Avril Lavigne releasing a new song, music video filmed at 1 Million Cubs headquarters. Avril Lavigne, wow, that takes me back. Ron Popeil. Team Kansas cards, what's up? What are the best options for feed scanners? I'm having a hard time talking the wife into a $1,200 scanner to sell low-end cards. You can get the 8170, which is your best option. It's $800. That's what I use, the Ricoh or Fujitsu 8170. Brand new $800. You could probably get new or refurbished for $500 to $600, maybe. A little tougher to find 8170s on the used market because it's a year and a half old, I think now. 7030 and 7160 also great options, and you'll find those. You can find those refurbished in the $300 range. So those are the only three that I can recommend. I've never used some of the others in the chat might use Epson. I've never used Epson. I can't speak to it. I've never used one. I started using the Fujitsu 7030. That was the first feed scanner I used. Was great. It sucks for Chrome. So if you want to do Chrome, do the 8170. I'm not sure. I haven't used the 7160, so I'm not sure if that's good with Chrome. But I used the 7030. It was a great machine. 7160, great machine. And the 8170. Johnny says, slow sales. Try ending sell similar 200 listings a day for a month. You can thank me later. That's also another option. Dan says, received the of 10 Korean auto today. We'll send to PSA in time. Joe Trotto says, the app sucks currently. Redesign takes all the use out of it. Yeah, like, I don't like that there's, I like to see exact numbers, like on my listings and my sales. Now it's just like, 54K plus. It's like, I want to know exacts. I don't want to know approximates. Dan says, one thing I try to do is take 200 listings that are ending on that day and then myself, and then highlight all 200 and do a bulk sell similar, tweak the price 5%, relist. Yes, I do that. I don't do it regularly, but I do that on occasion. The old end sell similar. Flipping Sports Guy says you should just check all, then hit send offers. You have to do it by percentage, though. So that's what I do when I send offers. But on receiving offers, is that even an option? That's just sending offers. Like, I want to, this is responding to active offers. Now, send offers, I do that. And I do just 10%. And if they can counter, they can accept it. But on actually, yes. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Yeah. Bulk accept or deny from, that's different. Yeah. I don't think there is a bulk option. Yeah. That sucks. Let's see. Max sends bulk offers through the app every day. Mine doesn't work. Mine hasn't worked in 6 months. It worked. It stopped working where I'd have to refresh. And it just got worse and worse. And now it's like, when I took Biscuit, I tested this out, and this was probably in the fall. When it like pretty much stopped working altogether. And yes, I've deleted the app off my phone multiple times. I've logged out and logged back in. None of that works. And I took Biscuit for a walk, and I did the refresh because it says I have 54 offers. I'd click, and it'd take a while. Sorry, you have no offers right now. It's like, but you just told me I had 54, and I know I have 54. And I think I counted how many times just in the walk, and I just refresh, and it was like over 40. I did it over 40 times, and it still never worked. So, and now my option's not even there in the new app. Since they changed it, it's I just sold a 1983 Fleer Ed Ott, which I think he passed away this weekend. So that's probably why he sold. 83 Fleer Common sold. So like my app shows my 90-day total numbers, list an item, payments, and under tasks, it says nothing. It says you're all caught up. Once you have new tasks, they'll show up here. Now, I know that's a lie, because when I go in, I have 18 offers that I can accept or deny or counter. Sending offers, I have So I have 18 offers, open offers. I have 10 because I kept sending offers yesterday and last night. So, which is still kind of a low number, but 10. So there's tasks. I have tasks, eBay. Dan says it also seems to boost the store, or it just might all be in my head. Flipping Sports Guy. Oh, yeah, that's what we just talked about. Huddle card collection in the house. He uses the Epson ES400. Got it for around $115 on eBay. Works great. Flipping Sports Guy says what they say at eBay Open is a freaking joke, and I do agree with that. They've said 3 years running that instant pay on offers was going to be required. It is. You have to set it, and it's annoying as hell. I don't want automatic payment on offers because what happens is if somebody, like yesterday, I had a buyer send a $1 offer on 40 cards. If that is a requirement without them tweaking it, and it is, like there's instant, you can offer instant pay, you can require instant payment on your things now. I think that took effect a few months ago. Because I had to unclick it. Or last summer. I was living in the old house because I had to unclick it. And I talked to somebody at eBay, and like an actual person, and he's like, yeah, the community forums are monitored. And he's like, yeah, that's been a big, since we made that switch, that's been a big problem. So you can go in and you can unclick it. But the problem with it in its current form is if somebody sends you 40 offers and you accept all 40 of them, they pay instantly on each transaction. So you're paying 30 cents on times 40 instead of 30 cents times 1. So that's why I took it out. It's somewhere in the settings. So if you're not like, if you're just doing auctions and you don't have people buying multiple items from your store, it's certainly, it's great to have. And I can't remember, is it under payments or store? It's somewhere in the settings. Somewhere in the settings, you can go adjust it. TD Sports Card. Breaking news, Mike Evans staying in Tampa, 2 years, $52 million. Dan says, not only can you send bulk offers as long as it's the same percentage, but you can also send a follow-up coupon. I've had really good success doing that. Flawed Thinker says, yesterday we had our first Little League draft. Usually the kids would just be put on teams randomly. I will say it got a little intense, but it was a lot of fun. Shane says, pretty sure that is the case now. Yes. When I accept people's offers, I always get paid on each individual offer, never a bulk buy on multiple offers anymore. You can change that. You can change that. Flawed Thinker says, one coach didn't show up, so you know the kids that he got. He got all the right fielders. Never mind, I misunderstood your question. Flipping Sports Guy says, Shane, it's been a slow rollout over the past year. A lot of buyers still get the 4 days, even when a seller has not turned that option on. Max says, no, receiving offers is a 1-by-1 from my experience. Flawed Thinker says, it seems that almost every time a company tries to update a website or an app, it gets compared to Microsoft going from Windows 7 to Windows 8, eventually go back after the backlash. Yes. Jordan says, how many rollers did you take out? I have the 680. Max says, there's probably just too many listings you can send offers on. It overloads the app. That could be. Let's see. Shane says to the Flipping Sports Guy, true, I still have a couple people not pay for 4 days. I feel that for the most part, I'm getting paid as soon as I accept the offer. Flipping Sports Guy had his app reverted back to the old look. How do I get that? I want the old app. Just the one that is the top of the cover. Charles says Fujitsu 6130. I am not familiar with that one. Not familiar. Let's see. Even with you requiring instant pay, it's still not for every buyer. eBay may say it, but what eBay says doesn't mean it works. Breaking news. Zach Wheeler just signed a 3-year extension with the Phillies. Will become the 4th highest annual average pitcher. Whoa. Who had that on your bingo card? Shane says, I did change it. I turned off instant payment like you did, and it still does it most of the time. Really? That sucks. That would piss me off. All right. So that's what I had for today. Why are your cards not selling on eBay? It's probably your product and your price. That's why your cards aren't selling on eBay. And then it can get more complex. You can oversimplify it, but typically product, price, and that's why you're not making sales. So that's what I had for today. Check out my eBay store. No longer have a 1983 Fleer Ed Ott in my store. Visit 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more, 25% off at checkout. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. We'll be on every morning this week, with the exception of Saturday. I'll be at the Kane County Fairgrounds on Saturday. I'll have brand new. There's that gassiness again. I'll have brand new baseball quarter boxes Saturday, Kane County Fairgrounds, St. Charles, Illinois. I'll review the show on Sunday. Monday morning will be the last show until I'll be in Arizona. So at least one of my shows, I'll probably do a couple shows from Arizona, from Mesa, just outside of Sloan Park. Since I'll be in Arizona, it'll be a West Coast friendly time on Hobby Evolution. I'll try to do at least 2 shows, maybe a third Hobby Evolution from spring training. So next Tuesday is going to be a long day. I fly out early, first thing in the morning. And then there's a night game for the Cubs that night. So it's going to be a long day. So I won't go live next Wednesday, but maybe next Thursday, we'll do our first Hobby Evolution from spring training. Yes. Thank you, Jordan. Chris Mortensen passed away yesterday. So that was sad news that we heard. Alan's happy about the West Coast friendly time. Alrighty, that's it for me. Have a great day. Like, subscribe. See you tomorrow.